Well, what do we have here on this video that you're watching? We're going to be previewing Week 16 NFL games, game scripts, how we think they're going to go, how we think they're not going to go. I'm going to be going over my DFS picks and also a special, exclusive, private contest that I will be hosting. You don't want to miss it, folks. It's coming right up. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. These are my Week 16 NFL DFS picks. This week, and this week only, I'm hosting a fantasy football contest. It's only 25 cents to enter. If it's your first time playing on DraftKings, you've never played before, and you deposit for the first time, I'm going to give you a couch swag pack. Oh, crap. If you win first place, you'll get a Fantasy Couch t-shirt. Top 31 players will win a cash prize. You can enter up to 2 times, and there's gonna be 100 total entries this contest. All you gotta do is follow the link below, pick your team, hit the enter button. That's really it. Spots do fill up fast, and this contest starts Sunday, guys, not Saturday. It starts Sunday, so you have to get your lineups before Sunday morning kickoff. Let's go right on to the picks. My favorite quarterback this week is Russell Wilson. Price at $7,000. Seems expensive, but really not. I have him ranked number 1, and why not pick him in cash games? If you're submitting more than one lineup, I think a player really similar to him, price really similar at only $6,800, we have Cam Newton. I think that Russell Wilson is gonna have more motivation to throw the ball more, make more plays. That's how that offense is. He's the entire offense, he's the entire team basically for Seattle. The Cowboys are actually favored to win, and I don't think the Cowboys defense is all that good. As for Cam Newton, he's kind of been on fire lately, but if they can just hand the ball off to Jonathan Stewart, Christian McCaffrey, or whoever is going to be the third string running back, make a few plays, that should be good enough. The Buccaneers team isn't that good, and they have quite a bit of injuries, so Cam Newton's likely not going to need to do a lot in the fourth quarter. Just hand the ball off, win this game. At least that's what we expect how the game script's gonna go. The Panthers should easily coast by the Bucs and easily win, have a lead during most of the game. A guy who's really cheap that I like is Jared Goff, $6,100 going against the Titans. I say this about 1.5 times per week. Titans, decent against the run, not so much against the pass. I mean, it's going to be tough to stop a guy like Gurley, but still, you can pass against them. Another reason I like Goff is he's been pretty good this season, but statistically has done pretty bad the last week. And as you guys know, recency bias. You do bad one week, the next week, not a lot of people pick you in their lineups in DFS. And the cheap guy I got is Derek Carr. He's not playing in the main slate. He's playing Monday night. I think a lot of people will be playing the Monday slate, though, if you like the Monday night games. Like last week, I really liked Devontae Freeman, so I made sure to get at least one lineup in that had the Monday Night Football game. This Raiders-Eagles game has the potential to be a sneaky shootout. We saw this happen last week with the Eagles and Giants. It was quite the shootout, a little bit surprising to me. This one, I don't know, and that's why I like this as a cheap GPP play. I think this one could be a lot of Ajayi, a lot of running by the Eagles, some good defense by the Eagles, and keep the game at medium score and, you know, like 44-point total, something like that. But at the same time, I do see the potential of this being a shootout. We know Derek Carr is a good quarterback. We know Nick Foles can get the job done. He threw 4 touchdowns last week. So that's why I like Derek Carr. Not a guy you can trust and heavily rely on in your lineup, but a guy who's super cheap and has potential. For running backs, I'm looking, man, how many? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 7 or 8 elite running backs with elite price tags though too. And it was really tough to pick some. When that happens, sometimes I like to just go a little cheaper and try to find good value. I found myself liking a lot of players in the mid to expensive tier range, so it's pretty important that we save a little bit of salary cap. So I'm going with my #1 elite running back, Ezekiel Elliott, and one of the main reasons I'm picking him is his price point. This is what DFS is about, guys. I like Le'Veon Bell. Price is way too high, though. Gurley is going to get a lot of usage. Price is very high. Then we have Kareem Hunt, 8,400. That's pretty good. I'd still consider picking him, but I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott. Just think about how many times this guy's going to touch the ball. I'd be surprised if it's not 27 to 29, maybe 30 times he'll touch the ball. They need to win this game, the Cowboys. And Ezekiel Elliott is healthy. He's ready to play. They're going to go all out and try to win this game. His price is $8,000, but it should be like $8,700 compared to Gurley and Bell. I love this pick here. Leonard Fournette going against the Niners. He will be highly owned, but not as high as he should be because of the questionable tag, because he didn't play last week, because he's been kind of disappointing lately and missed 3 games in a row just not too long ago. I'm telling you, man, if you think about it, without using recency bias, $7,500 for a guy like Leonard Fournette going against the Niners is going to be amazing. You really can't beat this price point. I think he has a decent floor as far as usage goes. Like, they're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to use Fournette. And hey, the ceiling, if he can get in the end zone more than once, that's his ceiling. Devontae Freeman, 6,500. Going against the Saints. The Saints are a little bit soft in the middle. This is a great price point. Freeman's going to be much more valuable if Tevin Coleman is out. I think Tevin Coleman will play, but don't quote me on that, okay? I'm not 100% sure. We don't know yet. But if Coleman doesn't play, Freeman is going to be super chalk. You guys know last week I really liked Devontae Freeman. Now, here's a running back that I'm really excited about that I wanted to share with you guys. Dion Lewis, 6,000 going against the Bills. Absolutely love this pick. Here's why I guess I'm kind of scared though. It's the Patriots. We don't know who's going to play running back. And this is Mike Gillislee's former team. We're expecting the Patriots to activate Mike Gillislee. He's been a healthy scratch the last few weeks, but with Burkhead out the picture, we're going to see Gillislee in there. I see this being a great game for Lewis. But you never know with the Patriots. Maybe Gillislee balls out. You just never know. I didn't see any spark with Gillislee though this year. I don't see why they do that. He'd serve more of a backup role. For GPPs, I like Ajayi at 5,100 playing Monday night. I like Carlos Hyde at 5,000 also in GPPs going against the Jaguars. Jaguars great against quarterbacks, great against receivers, great against the pass. They're good against running backs, not great against running backs. And if you're playing Monday Night Football, Lamar Miller is super cheap. It's going to be hard to pass up on a deal like this if you're trying to have some kind of salary cap relief. And another great GPP pick is Mike Davis going against the Cowboys, the Seattle Seahawks kicker. He was one of my picks last week. He didn't do so well. That pick didn't work out. But that's even more reason to pick him in a GPP this week. He will be contrarian. I just want to mention really quick, if Chris Hogan is out and misses week 16, you might want to consider James White if you're doing more than one lineup. Maybe put him in one lineup. 4,100 going against the Bills. You get some salary cap relief. Also DraftKings full PPR. James White, what does he do? He doesn't get a lot of carries. He gets a ton of targets though. For wide receivers, I like Keenan Allen and Michael Thomas. Priced at $7,700 for Keenan, $7,600 for Thomas. I think that's really self-explanatory. Michael Thomas is the #1 wide receiver on the Saints, Breeze's favorite target, very reliable. He's turning out to be an elite wide receiver this year, especially with all the injuries happening to all the other wide receivers. And Keenan Allen, of course, going against the Jets. This is amazing, guys. And he just suffered a minor injury last week. So it's going to lower the percentage of that people pick. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers receivers did not have a good week last week. For GPPs, I like AJ Green, but super risky, okay? I'm not vouching for, I'm not saying AJ Green's gonna be awesome. I'm saying nobody's gonna own AJ Green. And we know the talent's there. We know the Lions defense is opportunistic, they're good, but they're not great. There's gonna be a little bit of opportunity for the Bengals. However, this team is falling apart, so nothing more than a risky GPP pick. I love it because of the price and the contrarian pick. Just imagine getting AJ Green. Like if we were to consider AJ Green like 6 weeks ago, his price tag would be much higher. He'd be very highly owned. Some weeks he was one of the most owned wide receivers, guys. And now we got a cheap price, relatively cheap price, and nobody's gonna own him. Dang, this theme's going quite tough right now. So Funchess is questionable, had a bad game last week. We know he's good. We know he's the wide receiver 1 on the Panthers. He's priced at $6,600. Price is neither cheap nor expensive. It's decent, and that's why I like him in any type of format, whether cash or GPP. He had a horrible game statistically last week, therefore not a lot of people will pick him this week. And Sterling Shepard, a very nice matchup, a very nice, should get double-digit targets this week going against the Cardinals, priced at $6,600. A great GPP play is D.D. Westbrook. The price is not high, it's not low. He will be overlooked. Not too many people picked Keelan Cole last week, okay? Now, people are gonna pick Cole this week, and they're gonna overlook Westbrook. And what's gonna happen? Westbrook is gonna ball out. And who else would I recommend next? At $4,700, Keelan Cole is right here playing against the Niners. They're on the same team. I like him because of the price tag. Now, a lot more people are gonna be picking him, so it's not gonna be as much of a contrarian pick, especially with Marcus Lee slated to miss week 16. Now, we got Paul Richardson, $4,300. Going against the Cowboys. I doubt the Seahawks will have a commanding lead throughout the game. Russell Wilson will need to throw it, make some miracle plays, make some magic happen. And Paul Richardson, man, he's been getting a decent amount of targets. I really think he's talented. He's got good speed, and this is a good price point for Paul Richardson, only $4,300. Decent matchup going against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a well-coached team. Even though their defense isn't great, they have good strategy. But who are you going to focus on? Probably more so Doug Baldwin and Jimmy Graham. Hope to contain those guys. I don't know. It's going to be tough to cover all of them. And I just like the upside with Paul Richardson. The risk is there though as well. For tight ends, I like Ertz, but he's played Monday night. I like Jimmy Graham, priced at $4,700. I really like that price point. And one guy that's going to be a little bit contrarian is going to be Vernon Davis, $3,400. Broncos defense is pretty good, but Cousins is a talented quarterback, and the Broncos aren't that good against the tight end position. With OJ Howard out, Cameron Brate makes for a good tight end, priced at only $3,300. Now, Brate is hurt. The injury seems to be minor, but keep tabs on that. We want to make sure he's close to 100% before you start him in your lineup. That price is cheap though. And I got a cheapo that I don't really like, Tyler Kroft, but if you absolutely need some salary cap relief at the tight end position, you can go with Kroft at $2,600. I'm not vouching for it. I don't trust him, okay? I don't trust him. I like the price. That's it. Just the price. For defenses, I like these elite defenses. My top 5: Jaguars, Chargers, Rams, and Bears. Actually, what is that? That's 4 defenses. Sorry. I recommend going with the Chargers. They're playing the Jets. The upside is so tremendous, and defenses generally is a risky position on its own. I mean, we can see a team play well, a defense play well, and may not put up a lot of fantasy points. Like the Vikings, for instance. I recommended them last week, but I'm like, man, this defense just doesn't put up a lot of fantasy points, but I know they're elite. I know they're good. Last week, they actually did put up the fantasy points. And the Chargers are kind of the same thing. You can run against them, but going against Bryce Petty, and the upside is just, it's too much to resist here. I love the Chargers D. The price is high, but I'm not scared of it. The Rams D is pretty good. That's more of an alternate option. I would go ahead and go with the Bears D. I feel like the Rams are a little bit risky. I like the Bears D, 3,500 going against the Browns. We all know every defense does well against the Browns. This should be a low scoring game. All it takes is one big play from the defense for them to really return value and get some fantasy points for your team. I wanted to mention the Washington defense. They're playing the Broncos. I think Brock Osweiler's been the best quarterback for the Broncos. It's been weird. He's actually been decent. Now, if he doesn't start and Paxton Lynch starts, Washington defense could be pretty good because Paxton Lynch looked horrible this year. And if you're really trying to save, we can go with the Panthers D, 3,100 going against the Bucks. The Bucks suck. And the Lions defense, 2,900 going against the Bengals. They have some upside here. Every week when we doubt the Lions D, they've been a great fantasy defense this year. Kind of like underrated every week, but they've been really good. They're not elite. They're not like top. They're not like the Ravens or the Jaguars or anything like that. But as far as being underrated and producing almost every week, they've done that. All right, guys, make sure you follow the link below. Enter the contest. I'll be playing on there. So will a lot of Couch Squad fans, the Couch Squad team, will all be on there playing. I wish you good luck. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We have a lot of awesome things coming up for the future. I'm going to be starting another YouTube channel, so stay tuned to that. Make sure you guys leave a comment below. Use hashtag AskTheBrain when you're asking a fantasy football question. Subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting the couch icon over here to the side of me. Like the video, leave a thumbs up. I'll see you guys on the next video.